online, thing. And now I feel like it's something that I've been doing for a while. Allison's actually better at it than I am. So for me, I'm the guy that's just courageous enough to because I got nothing to lose, So I'm just posting and like putting it all out there and just seeing what happens.
Just going for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I feel like it would be harder. I don't want to say like harder, but like for men, I feel like it's a lot different too for them to step out of that, and they don't really have a lot of outlets to like fully like embrace themselves and let themselves be who they truly are, and that can be terrifying for a man to like put himself out there, like especially when they're not doing the things that they've been conditioned to do.
100%. And
so
to be honest, the more I'm kind of getting more followers or whatever, like the more hate mail and the more negativity that I get. And it's something. I'm just saying that's the biggest thing that empowers me and makes me stronger, honestly, because I could easily take that personally and just let it deflate me and never post a thing again. And trust me, I have those thoughts, and I just don't, act on them because, like I said, the more my bubble gets bigger, it's amazing how much just repressed energy there is out there, especially in the masculine,
community.
Yes, very so. And it's so interesting.
So like it's gonna like almost push back kind of instead of like accepting. First, there's gonna be a huge pushback. Like
and I totally
not
understand that. Yeah, because I was in that same position 10 years ago or whatever when. I remember my first girlfriend when I was in high school. She was vegetarian and stuff, and I was the strict meat eater guy and blah blah blah. Like I was living that paradigm 100%. So I'm just excited that people like yourself have actually taken that plunge, taken that leap into their heart, right? And now it's just a matter of like we were talking earlier about how just the people in the internet these days, you have to be transparent. That's what it is.
Right. And otherwise, you're not gonna like make it.
Exactly. You're either gonna
people will like eat you alive or like. Yeah.
They really do. And what's the funniest, since we're on that subject, like my own people, the vegans or whatever, are the people that are eating me alive like the most. Yes. And I embrace it because I love everybody, but it's definitely a lot of, harsh criticism and judgments, right? And it just, for me, it just shows people where they're at. That's all it is.
Yeah. For me, like, I'm still in the Midwest, Iowa, and they're like, my food growing up was like, meat and potatoes. That's what we eat, and like and when I went vegetarian about a year and a half ago, like my family was like, whoa, like, and they thought it was just a phase and they like criticized me and like sometimes they still do, or like just make comments, and so it's been really hard to like stick to my guns. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. Like it was hard for me to like, cause I came accustomed to the taste of meat and it was the taste and it was the attachment to it, not necessarily, but the feelings. I had to learn how to like, I'm just very sensitive, and so I could feel the energy of the meat I was eating, and I don't eat pork at all. Like, if I'm going to eat meat, I just don't eat pork, because I can feel, like, the fear. I don't know, I can just feel the energy behind this.
That's exactly what it is. You hit the nail on the head. It's fear. I mean, we don't have to complicate it more than that,
Yeah, it is. It's just, like, they're in the energy of fear when they're being, like, killed or to become our food, and I just don't. So it was, like, the thoughts I was having while I was eating, and I was like, I can't be, and that's when I would gain weight, like, I felt like when I would eat, I would just shame myself all the time. And that's what made me actually, it was like that being in that lower vibration actually was like counteracting everything I was doing. So my weight loss journey began when I I made the goal about raising my vibration, not about losing the weight. And so I had to like feel really good.
Thank you.
And it started with my thoughts. That's why I started with meditation. And that changed my life. Also, when I started meditating, my family was like, what?
She's a witch doctor!
And, like, I just had to start off with, like just guided meditations, like 10 minutes in the morning, like, just to, and then as that happened, like, now I'm really great at it. Like, I can easily put myself, like, especially doing yoga, and I know that you practice yoga a lot, and that totally changed my life. Like, I can't, like, I want to yell at people, and I've had to learn how to be really gentle, like, you have to do these things because they're so amazing, but, like, I can't be too forceful or pushy, but, like, I also want to, like, motivate people to be like, yes, these things, like, are great, and they will totally transform your life. Like, just the way I see life is completely different. It's not about, like, my body anymore. It was about that at first. Like, it was a number on a scale. And wanting to reach a certain goal, but then I just started feeling good, and so I started like doing things that felt good. That's why I started exercising every day after work just for 30 minutes. But it also took like commitment and like you have to be really self-disciplined, and I think that's what people like don't really realize. You have to like make yourself do it, even on those days that I didn't really feel very happy and I didn't feel very confident.
Yeah.
I had to still
to bring that motivation. I'm just so happy when you say stuff like this, because it's just mirroring the things that I've had, and that's why I'm recording this, because I want other people. We're not the only ones that have been through this process, and they just need to hear that there's other people that have been through this, so they can just maintain. That's all it is. Because like right now on YouTube, especially, like there's so many people going to like the carnivore diet and like doing all these crazy things.
The fad diet.
It's simply because they don't have what you're talking about, that connection with themselves. Okay, that's all this is. And I just get so happy when I hear you talk about that, because you're literally doing this on all levels, right? You had that meditation practice, and you're understanding it on all levels, like the emotional state, the physical state, and your spiritual state. And that's what I'm saying, because I feel like so many people are just looking at it on the surface. They're looking at it like very shallow. Here, very shallow approach. Whether it's, we all want abs or more flexibility or whatever. That's great, but I'm just saying that's very on the surface level of what we can experience. And yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to like completely transform my lifestyle. It wasn't like about, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, because it kind of feels like I was just like thrown into it, like, because I had a spiritual awakening about 2 years ago right now.
Can you talk to me about that real quick? I'm just curious how, like, what that incident was. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to experience it. The twin flame information resonated with me, and so I experienced that. But a couple years before that, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, and that was what first put me into and I started grieving. So my weight loss mostly came from healing emotionally. I had a lot of repressed sadness, a lot of repressed anger, especially from my childhood. So I had to do a lot of inner child healing to be able to get to the place where, it was mostly, I like to focus on the emotional healing, the energetic healing, and the subconscious healing. And the subconscious healing is what totally, changed the game for me. Totally diving deep into that.
Oh my gosh. No, I'm really happy when you say this, because I feel like all my, what I'm doing is like trying to put this information in a way that people can understand it, and here you are living it right now. So it's just good. It's exciting to hear.
So yeah, when I had I want to call it like the dark night of the soul about 2 years ago, and it was just like a complete loss of my sense of self, kind of, and I felt like nothing made sense anymore. I couldn't. My mind was so full of anxiety. I did reach for I did started going to church with a friend, and as I reached for that, I was starting to ask more questions and just aloud. I would be praying, but I didn't even realize I was praying, I guess. And I couldn't receive any information back because my mind was too filled with anxiety and worry. And that's when I began to meditate. And then that's when I began to open up to my intuitive guidance. And that's when I began to intuitively eat and intuitively diet and intuitively exercise. And that's where it all began to shift, is when I began to get in tune with my emotional body.
Awesome.
And then I could start to wean things out. I would eat something and I was like, ugh, this makes me feel terrible, so I'm not going to eat this anymore. But I honestly, because I was addicted to food, my food addiction, which I don't think there's enough information about food addiction, and especially in America.
Component. People don't even understand. Again, they think it's physical. They think it's just an apple and then it goes in and it digests, but there's way more going on complexity-wise on the emotional state and the spiritual state to that apple, and that's the thing that people need to address. Yeah.
Right, yeah, and so, I just had to start, I was not perfect. I had to, be really, gentle with myself the whole entire time. I'm very self-critical. I was just talking about that today.
Yes.
But I'm in this whole new space where, I still see those things and they still come up for me. Especially right now, I'm just in a state of, accepting and allowing things and viewing them from a whole different perspective. And I find that, my darker aspects, it's just about, fully embracing.
Yeah.
So I was talking about spirituality, and everybody thinks it's all positive vibes all the time. It's and I'm like, no, it's just about authenticity and fully accepting the dark aspects of yourself.
Exactly. Thank you.
And and so that was what's hard for me. But now I'm starting to observe it. I'm like, okay, I'm not beating myself up anymore. I'm not in that shame or in that guilt. I see it, and I just have to nurture myself, and I have to just take care of myself even better than I did before, which is always a challenge. Pushes you to.
But that's how we grow.
And also. Right. And for the twin flame experience for me, it was more it showed me, it pushed me into self-care and into self-love and into self-acceptance. It was not, there's a lot of information about it out there that's completely romanticized, just a lot of stuff and codependent things that's attached to it. But the experience that I'm having has been amazing, because I've grown so much and having my masculine energy was so distorted. My masculine energy was, so I was not able to be assertive. I didn't have confidence. I wasn't able to take charge of my life. And I really had to dig deep into those blockages that I had from my childhood wounding against like my father, you know, in past lifetimes, and be able to like
programming 101, you know, it's
and so it's just been nuts, but it's nice to like share it with just with somebody that kind of understands like
I get it 100%, and that's why I want to share this message with more people, you know, because again, I feel like what's happening is this energy is available to us on Earth now that it wasn't available, you know, in the past, and a lot of people are having these experiences, and they're just either talking themselves out of it and continuing to live those old ways, or they're embracing it and they're like, oh, what's happening? And they're asking, you know, their peers and their family. 9 times out of 10, though, like you and I, we got judged from our friends and our family, and we got pushed like into some corner. I literally went all the way to Alaska to go to the mountain because it's the only place where I could find like peace, you know, away from all of that. And I was there for years, since 2011, and now I'm like coming back into the world, and I'm realizing so many people are having a very similar experience, and we are the people that, you know, need to guide them into, you know, like a shepherd into this corral of peace and love, you know, into this little space. And it's like, it's okay, just stay here. It's okay, it's okay. And I think you are safe.
You are safe. Exactly. I have to continually tell myself that I'm safe, because if I don't, like, my mind will go, like, trying to grasp for anything it can, like, especially to the past, like, let me just cling on to this. And it's just like, no, I don't want to be there. Like, I'm broadening my horizons.
Like. This is so beautiful, like I say, because I feel like you know, you've kind of, it's like a transformation of shedding. You know, you shed the old layers, and a part of this, is with the diet and veganism, and you know, getting rid of the toxicity that's, you know, in our organs and all that. And then there's what I like to, you know, talk about is the metaphysical parts, like you're describing, which are these emotional traumas that are stored in different parts of the body. And I've been in yoga classes or different thing where I've seen these trauma, you know, come to the surface. And that's where the real healing happens. And if people just, you know, need to stay strong in that process to learn that lesson, because that's really what's happening here. The universe has put that lesson and disguised it as, you know, emotional trauma. And now we are learning what that is all about. And it's exciting. Honestly, it's just exciting because I feel like people have been just living, you know, under the covers their whole life. And now,
that's what I felt like, personally.
Oh, yeah, me too. Like I said, I had to go all the way to Alaska because it's the only place where I felt like I could actually be sane. You know? And now I have the confidence to talk about this stuff on the internet and everything because I know it's legit and it's something that I don't have to even question anymore, you know? It's something that I'm just blasting wide open to everybody because we need to talk about this stuff. So
yeah, like I just want to explode with all this like information or like the things that I've learned, you know? And I'm just like, I don't want to be like pushy, but I'm just like,
no, it's genuine excitement and passion because you no longer have those blocks on your shoulders that was holding you down, you know? I can see those blocks physically on people walking around every day, and I literally just want to like shake them and, you know, get those blocks. But it doesn't happen that way, you know? You have to do the inner work, and you have to do it yourself. The only way out is through, right? That's like one of my favorite things. And the other thing that my daily mantra is, you know, we're all just doing our best. And we're all on our own individual path and journey, and it's about embracing that rather than trying to correct it and, you know, judge it and blah, blah, blah.
Shaming people and
There's enough of that. We need to let all that go.
So it's been interesting. Like, just the energy healing is my favorite part, I think, just because I really like to work with energy. Like, I can sense energy, so, like, I'm always clearing out my chakras and, like, creating, like, I like to call it, like, my force field. I create, like, this little force field around me. And I'm like, so I can stay in my center. But it was a long process of, like, developing my meditation practice and developing my yoga practice and my eating habits and, like, my self-care and exercising. And you have to put all those things together to be able to, like, create that kind of thing for yourself. And it's just been amazing. Like, I've developed so much strength and resilience, and I have really big dreams for my life. And I feel like the only way that we can have, like, big dreams is if we, you know, we have to be able to face challenges, and we have to be able to be flexible. And the only way we can be flexible is in our minds, because we're going to meet challenges all the time. But it's how we, like, face those and how we approach them that make that huge difference. That's I feel like I'm moving through, like, challenges so much smoother because of my, like, heightened awareness.
Because you're embracing them. A lot of people, basically, you know, the only time we have problems is when there's resistance to it. So
right.
now that you've kind of been like, come on, universe, let's do this. You know?
Yeah.
That's the attitude, you know? So that's, you know, what we have to maintain. Otherwise, I see people where it's just like, stop, universe. Oh, stop.
Yeah.
Please don't
Sometimes
do that to me
I really
anymore.
am like that. I'm not going to lie. Like, sometimes I'm like the queen of resistance, and I'm like,
Yep.
no, I don't want to do this. But that's when I know that's like my inner child freaking out. And that's why I do a lot of like self-care, and I do a lot of taking care of my inner child, and I do things that bring me joy. Because if I didn't, I would have not made it through this through this journey.
Yes.
And I feel like that's the whole point too, is coming back to joy and knowing that it's our birthright and that is how we were created. And so it's like really nice. I was so scared I wouldn't allow myself to like feel pleasure or feel relaxed because I grew up in a household where my father had a lot of repressed anger. So it was like walking around like on a battlefield and like not knowing when a landmine was going to go off. And so I was always in defense.
Exactly.
And one thing that I've had to learn, especially being in my feminine energy, is how to be receptive and how to allow and how to relax. And that was very challenging for me because, like I said, I was so used to playing defense that when I would allow myself to relax, my mind would go into like, you're not safe, you're not safe, you're not safe, protect yourself. And I was like, I am okay. I am okay.
You're doing
so,
great.
Yeah,
this
that was
is
really
so
hard
awesome.
too.
It's just great to hear your perspective of this because I've heard a lot of other people, and it's great because, like I said, when you just start embracing this and stop resisting, magic just happens. You know?
Right.
And that's the thing, and there's no judgment on the rate of that, you know? And yes, we all have moments where we want to just do the self-care and just meditate and go, within, because that's really the only, that's basically telling the universe, like, I've had enough. That's like, okay, let's turn it down a little bit. I've had enough, lessons and growing for today. Let's just turn it down, Yeah. And that's totally fine. And the universe obviously hears that message and backs off and says, okay, just let her sleep. It's okay. It's like, and that's totally fine. I just want to, say thank you for, taking that step into your heart, because most people are simply just sweeping their problems under the rug, And that's what I see every day. And I just want to thank you again for not doing that, because so many people are basically in that stagnant mode of life, and they're just upset all the time,
Right.
And that's
I was deeply immersed in my suffering, and it was like a choice. I was choosing to suffer, but I also didn't really know any different. I was so blind. That's what it feels like. I was so blind by my suffering that I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't even know I was killing my body at like 24 years old. I was close to 350 pounds.
Wow, good for you. I'm very so happy for you. This
unhealthy.
Is so awesome.
Yeah, and so like I couldn't even see it though, honestly, and that's why like the meditation was the biggest like eye opener for me ever. Like I can't like describe. Like I want to advocate for like I feel like meditation should be like implemented into like the school systems and like
it is just, everywhere else, but not here, for a reason.
Right? Yeah, it's just like if I would have been like focused in school, like if I would have had that opportunity, I don't feel like the school system reaches everybody. It only is reaching certain people. And so like I wasn't focused, so I feel like I don't want to say like I'm dumb, but I just don't feel like as educated as I could be because my mind was a mess as a child, and so I was unable to focus. But I'm finding myself wanting to teach myself more things, and
this doesn't stop.
Educate myself, like
that's the beauty of it. It's endless, and you've come so far. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I can't imagine that. And you described it so beautifully, because that's exactly what happened. And just remember, though, we're all doing the best we can based on what we got, You got that from your parents and the lineages, that's what we got. So trust me, because I made the mistake of like blaming them in the in the beginning. And that was like, wow, like I made my mom feel so bad, and I never want to do that again,
Right.
So it's just that daily thing, remember, because that's what motivates me. Like I'm having my first child, and I'm excited about the future generations,
Right.
The work that I do here with my meditation and my, smoothies or anything that I do is they're gonna feel that, So that's
I'm
what
so excited
me.
to like raise conscious children and like teach them what I know and like. Oh, I'm so excited for that. Like, I'm so excited. I just, Alison really inspired me with her. Like, she shares her pregnancy and stuff like that. And I've always wanted to be a mom, but I always had so much fear around it, like so much resistance. And I've been going through that a lot. And like, I've been like, this might be, I remember like past lifetimes. So I've been like barren in a lot of lifetimes. Because I was very unhealthy and like repressed my sexuality and all that stuff. But like I healed it, and I could feel like my body actually like regenerating and healing that like my reproductive system. And so like I got super excited. I'm like, yes, I'm going to be able to have children. I'm going to be able to carry my own child, and like so super exciting. And then like to realize like, oh, I get to teach them all these things. And what I'm actually most excited is for them to teach me. Like, I cannot wait for them to teach me. I feel like
beautiful.
Yeah, like I'm gonna learn so much from them. Like, and I feel like they're gonna be so smart and even further ahead of time. Like, so
yes,
it's
you're
gonna
totally
be amazing.
spot on. I'm in the same exact boat. It is, and if we all had that attitude, oh my gosh, the world would be a completely different place.
Yeah, I like want to call my children my little light warriors. Like, I can't wait for them to like.
Of course,
shine
just
their light.
imagine like in 20 years from now, even, you know what I mean? Like, things are happening so fast,
so quick.
like just energetically, so many profound things are happening on different levels. And I like, for me, like I said, that's what excites me. And I can imagine where we're going to be even in 10 or 20 years as far as just the general consciousness on the planet, you know? So
yeah, it's amazing.
It's so exciting to think about how far we've come in such a short period of time, you know?
Yeah, and it's moving really quickly. That's what it feels like too.
Yeah.
The last 2 years of my life have went by super quickly, but like also kind of like a blur at the same time. But things are starting to finally come into focus, and I'm like, okay, I know exactly what steps I need to take. I know what direction I'm going in. Like, I'm ready to like use that masculine energy and like let's pioneer this stuff. You know?
Perfect. Yes, this is so exciting. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. I just want to say thank you again for taking the time to, you know, have this conversation with me. This has been awesome, and you're doing great. All the good things.
Yeah.
So,
and thank you for sharing all your stuff. I love all your knowledge. So
anytime.
I appreciate that. Yeah, you and Alison. So
we're excited, and yeah, just happy to be alive.
yeah. Amen.
Yeah. Well,
all right. Well, take care of yourself.
I will. Thank you.
Keep sharing your information.
Keep up all the good work. Keep up everything that you're doing. Everything is working, obviously. So just keep it all going. And if you want to, you can plug anybody right now, or plug yourself if you want to. Do you have a channel that you want to plug or anything?
I don't know what that means. You mean like a YouTube channel?
Like your Instagram. Like, do you want people to come to your Instagram or anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your Instagram?
So what? Oh, my Instagram is ashley.emig.
Cool.
So just EMIG. Yep.
Cool. Hopefully we'll get
you can follow me there. I like to share a lot of like my own like affirmations and my spiritual tips, I guess, and motivate people.
Yeah, I just know you're going to inspire people with this video, and they're going to want to, you know, connect with you.
Perfect.
After.
Yeah.
So,
please come check me out. Yes, I would love that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm ready to do this.
Cool. All right, let's do it. Thanks again, Ashley.
Right. Thank you. Yes. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
I don't know how to exit this.